Hello, welcome to the third section of your migration unit. It's called Empire and Expansion. This is the period in which Britain really does become the baddies of the story, and I'm not going to be saying anything really good about Britain here. And it starts off with India. How does Britain interact with India? India was a really attractive nation to trade with. There had been people that had gone to India and returned with untold amounts of valuable stuff. As you can see at the top right, we've got spices, gemstones, timber. There's also gold and iron ore and things that you just could not get in Europe, or should we say Europe had used them all. I always used to like the idea is that the white people in Europe didn't have spice on their food until they interacted with India. It's why they want it, flavour and stuff. But the idea is that everything in India was valuable and everyone wanted to trade with India. But the thing is, no one really knew how to get there. There was no consistent path. It took months and months and months. It was hard to trade with India. So luckily for everyone else, in the 1600s, a guy called Vasco da Gama from Portugal discovered a consistent, shortest route to India. It's this route you can see on the page that is around Africa, going around the Cape of Africa. It's called the Bottom. South Africa is now to this day, right? That suddenly spurred a massive amount of trade with India because all these European countries now knew how to get there, and they had their shortest amount of time. It would take months, but they knew that that was the shortest amount of time to get to India. Perfect. They go there, they trade their spices and gemstones and timber. But the thing is, because it takes months and months and months to get there, you don't just turn up, buy, sell, and then run back again. That's quite dramatic, isn't it? There's no break. So instead, the European countries began to set up what's called trading stations. You can see in the bottom left a picture of one of them. See, the thing is, the way India worked at this time, it was ran by the Mughal Empire, the Mughal Empire. This empire was made up of not a consistent leader or ruler, but it was, should we say, different areas controlled by local princes. That's the way I want you to remember it, local princes. So you'd go to one area of India and you'd be interacting with a very different group of people to another side. And that meant that you could get deals with some people that other people wouldn't let you have. And through, should we say, organising what you were allowed to do and what you weren't across India, these European countries were able to basically settle land in India. These trading stations counted as Britain and France and the Netherlands, and they were able to operate like it was a base camp. So these traders would go to India, they would trade off all their European stuff for loads of money because you couldn't get it in India, so it's rare. And then they'd buy all this stuff like spices, timber and gemstones onto their ships. Now, what they also did here, rather than just buy it and hold it in the trading station waiting for ships to come, is they'd process it. You might know what the processing means, but processing is, should we say, turning the product into something you want to buy. You at home probably have flour, right? Flour is made from wheat or barley or a variety of different, should we say, oats or grains. The thing is, you personally are not going to buy the grains, are you? Why are you doing that? You're going to buy the flour that they're made from, though. So processing is turning a raw product, like grains, into something that people want to buy. So these gemstones would be being cut into jewellery at these trading stations. These spices would be ground and packaged. This timber would be cut and cut into logs. There was a job in these trading stations, and eventually they started making obscene amounts of money. So much money that Britain, hint hint, decided to start putting more and more effort into India as their, shall we say, successful main part of their empire. Now, the way they did that is they established a company called the East India Trading Company. And what East India Trading Company did is they organised all of Britain's trading stations and began to organise to try and take more land. Remember, India is not consistently owned by one group of people. It is loads of little groups of people all working as like local princes, which means that if you get somebody who's pretty good at fighting and organising, like Britain is, they hire this man over here, Robert Clive on the left-hand side. Robert Clive went to war with all of those local princes. A united country like Britain with massive amounts of military power and now money from trading with India went to war with those local princes. And those local princes were not united enough to have a chance. He went to war multiple times, taking over various areas of India and eventually took over the entire subcontinent. I mean, the entire area of India was under Britain's control by the end of that. It took him a number of years, but he was a mass murderer of Indian people. He's not the most perfect person, and I urge you to look up more about him. He was succeeded by a man called Warren Hastings, who became the first governor of India, or another word for it is viceroy. But essentially, Robert Clive and Warren Hastings began to run India for Britain. These white men were controlling another area of the world purely as basically a moneymaker for Britain. Now, that's all you really need to know for how Britain manages to take control of India. And I've skimmed a lot of information, but specifically Robert Clive and Warren Hastings, so I want you to look that up on your own. So just to recap, here's the questions you need to be able to answer to do this section properly. Why was India so appealing to European countries? What was the political situation in India during this time? What was a trading station and how did it benefit the Europeans? What was the East India Company and why would someone describe it as powerful? How did Robert Clive empower the East India Company? And how did Warren Hastings empower the EIC? All the information to do those, if you're unsure, is in the textbook. I'm basically recounting the textbook to you. Go and find it on Teams in your Year 10 and Year 11 Teams chats, and good luck to you.